Hi guys, Ryu here, welcome to part 4, and in this one we're going to be designing some floor and hopefully wrapping this thing up. So let's Shift A and the plane, let's drop it down a bit, and in fact we're going to go to right view orthographic and go really tight here. GZ and drop it down, GZ and go really tight, and make sure that this plane is underneath this device. Now we need to make it bigger so we can scale it, right? And we're going to add solidify to it, so add solidify to it. And before we do that, Control A, apply scale, and then add solidify to it. And if you don't add solidify to a plane, right, if you're going to look from a side view, you will see that it becomes invisible because planes are infinitely thin, so you need a bit of thickness. Now I'm thinking that maybe a bit more thickness is good because I might be carving something into the floor, so a little bit thicker like that. Grab this bit here by the edge and GG and slide it in, hold shift and then E and extrude it up, okay? This is a little bit maybe too close, so we can grab these two edges and GX and move it in here. Grab this edge, Control B and sort of chamfer it, so we got this kind of a situation, and we can, you know, make it narrower a bit, or even here a bit smaller, so GX, so it's not that big, like small, you know, small flooring, okay? And we're gonna be shooting now from probably this side like this, so we need to move this GY this way, so the camera is gonna capture the whole image. Make it bigger later if you need to. Okay, so now we need some pillars, okay? So let's go to edge mode and Control R, click and move it in here, right? And Control B and split it. Control R and maybe run another one here. And select these and Control click here and Shift D, okay? Then P, selection. And then grab this bit on the top and turn off the solidify. And then go to edit mode and we're going to switch this path through, okay, in machine tools. Go to front view and B and extrude it EX and then EZ, right? And then let's just create something like this here, and then EX, and then we're gonna combine them here together. So select them all and press F, okay? Now you see that this geo is flipped, okay? It's flipped, right? So we're gonna have to flip it inside out. So let's first select this one, press F, and select this one, press F, right? Then select everything with A, Alt N, and flip outside. So now we got proper geo going on. I'm gonna make it like a pillar out of it, so let's you know, select these two. In fact, I think this one maybe should be perpendicular, not angled. Let's go to front view and let's see that. Click here, select this GX and move it here to snap to this vert. So we have this vert snapping turned on, right, from last time. So GX, hold Control and select this vert, hover over, yeah. So it's gonna snap perfectly to this vert, and I think this is gonna be a bit better. Then we can grab these two and Control B them like that, okay? We're gonna get this kind of a pillar, right? We can bevel this now, so let's apply bevel and also 3-segmented bevel, smaller one. Let's smooth it and apply auto smooth, and then apply weighted normals, right? Cool. So here we need a bevel too, so we need a bevel, and we need 3 segments and smaller bevel. All right, right click smooth and auto smooth, right? And then weighted normals. Cool. So that's that, and let's see here. Got a very simple pillar. Let's mirror this to the other side, okay? Or in fact, what we could do is select them both and GY, move it a little bit here, and then select this one, collapse the stack, add a mirror, and mirror this across y-axis like that. Now it got mirrored across its own origin because origin is in here, but I would probably prefer this origin to be inside of the pillar. So let's remove the mirror and shift S and origin to geo. Then let's add the mirror again, and then let's mirror this across this. Right, boom. Right, so we got this going on. We have some pipes as well, so we could simply add a cylinder, and we could rotate it on X by 90, so RX 90. Then you can scale it, move it to top view, orthographic, move it in here, and SY to make it longer, right? And then we're gonna scale this S shift Y, so scale it on all axes except Y. GY, move it in here, GZ, move it down, so it pops behind it, right? And then I'm gonna do shade smooth and auto smooth. Now let's go to edit mode and shift R and move this here, Control B, and then go to face mode. You can turn off this pass through, E, cancel, Alt S, and move your mouse out, and then S, Y, and scale it in like this. Okay, so we get this kind of a situation. And then what we can do is mirror this across. So we can just, you know, grab a mirror here and simply mirror across itself. It didn't work because it should be mirroring across z-axis because we rotated this object, so it should be technically a z-axis, I think. Yeah, there you go. So z-axis. Alright, perfect. So we got that going on. We can move this pipe a little bit deeper in here, okay, and then shift D, S, shift Y, make it smaller, and then S, GX, and move it in here, and GZ, move it down, and sort of misalign it, so it's, you know, kind of this situation. GX, move it in, and S, shift Y, and make it even smaller, GZ, drop it down, and you get kind of two pipes going on. This one is barely visible. Something like that, you know. Okay, cool. These pillars could be a bit more interesting, but well, we could do something with them, to be honest. So we could cut them. So let's add the cube and go to top view orthographic, move this cube here and scale this. We can actually move cursor here, so shift S to select it, and this one to cursor, SY, and then GX, and then SZ, scale it, and GZ, scale it like that. It's a bit too thick, so scale it in a little bit like this. And then we can apply scale, apply auto smooth, shade smooth, shift click, and control minus. And then with this one, we're going to move these modifiers up, so collapse it and move the Boolean modifier up here, and we're going to slice it. Okay, so select this one, and let's go to right view orthographic, shift D, right click, rotate it, holding control so you can snap it. Okay, scale it down and move it up here like this. Okay, and then we're going to select SX, let's just scale it, select this one with shift. Okay, and we're gonna press Control minus, and what it's gonna do is gonna cut the cutter, you see. So then what we're gonna do is we're going to go to edit mode, select everything with A, shift D, Z, and drop it down, and then let's try to rotate it, holding control like this, and maybe drop it a bit lower. And now what I want to do is grab this and put it into cutters, grab this one, and we're going to apply this boolean. Okay, so we're going to apply the boolean that cuts the boolean, and then go to edit mode, go here, and we're going to edit this. Okay, so we're going to grab these, right, with shift. Okay, and we're going to bevel them like this. All right, so you're going to get something like this, and then we're going to grab this one Let's grab this one as well and bevel this, okay? And the rest can be straight. So then press M and cutters, and you got these pillars, right? Last thing we're gonna do is we're probably gonna do something on the wall. So we could grab this wall and cut some panels on it. So select this bit here. In fact, let's select the whole thing. Shift D and then P selection. And then we're going to move the solidify outside, so the other way, right? So move it outside, you see, this way, okay? So now let's grab a plane, okay? And SY and scale it here. Go to edge mode, select this edge here, in the middle, this one. And then go to right view, orthographic E, and scale it like this. And then object mode and bring it somewhere here, okay? Control A, apply scale, modifier, solidify. And then we're going to apply auto smooth and shade smooth, right? So we got this bit going on. And then we're going to select this panel here and control minus, okay? So then grab this panel and let's move the boolean, sorry, above the solidify, boom. And you're gonna get this kind of a situation. So you can now cut panels, right? So we're gonna go to edit mode, select everything and shift D, and when we're gonna be moving this, we can, cut it without slicing again because it's in edit mode, right? So RZ and 180, which we're gonna flip this around, and we can, so RZ 180, okay, and we can move it somewhere here like this. And did it work actually? GZ, there we go. Okay, let's grab this edge here and GG, move it down, and then EY and extrude it on Y-axis here. And you're gonna get this kind of a situation, which is interesting. And we can move this to the right. So select this, control select this, GY, and move it in here like this, right? Select the edge and GY, and boom. And you got this kind of an interesting cut, which is pretty cool. So now we can adjust these cuts, to our liking. Right, we can drop it down if you want to a bit. We can drop it up. Maybe up is better. I mean, it depends on how camera is gonna be, looking here. There could be some kind of additional device in here, but quite frankly, I can't be bothered. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. But it could have something. Floating the same, could be sliced. What we could do is grab a regular cube and just move it in here and do something like this. So it could be a one floor panel, maybe like this, and we can slice this floor through. So let me just see that. There you go. And right click, shade smooth, and then auto smooth. Okay, we don't need this to be so tall, so let's go to face mode, GG, and drop it down, right? And then we can slash it. So, or yeah, slashing is gonna be good. So control/, right? And then grab this and move this boolean above, right? Well, above. Hang on. Oh, I think I know what I've done. I've cut the wrong panel. I made a mistake. See, I moved this panel, certified panel, inside, whereas it should be actually outside. So let's do it again. You might get confused here, but bear with me. We need to move this outside because otherwise it will not work. And then this panel, which is just the panel, should be moved to the front. Right, so this panel in the back here, GX, and move it here and make it bigger, so it's gonna be kind of like a wall. So a Shift S and move origin to Geo, and then just make it bigger. So it's gonna be some kind of a background over there. Yeah, I meant to cut this one, not this one. So anyway, so with this cut, I think. Well, we could still do this, we could still do this. We could still fix this. So we could remove this boolean from here, right? And move this plane to the front, GX, okay? and grab this one and slice this with Control minus. And then select this front panel and move the boolean to the top. There you go. And then we can slice this floor. So select this one and drop it down. Okay, and then select this one and let's drop a Control minus. And then we can move the boolean on top of solidify. It should work. There you go. It's a bit too deep, so let's move it up. JZ and, you know, kind of cut it in a little bit. Okay. There you go. That should work. And what we can do is copy this, right? So let's go to edit mode on a cutter, select everything with A, Shift D, Y, and move it in here. Okay. So we got two panels. And this panel could be of a different shape, okay? So G, X, and, you know, make it a little bit less long. And then maybe Shift D, X, move it in here, and then E, and extrude it here. And sort of snap it to this one, right? And we got this kind of a situation, right? So M cutters, right? And this one M cutters. And then we can fix this floor by raising it, or we could change the boolean into slash. Okay, so instead of going with the cut boolean, we can go with the slash. So select this one and Control//, and we can select this and move the boolean at the top, and this one here, move the boolean on top, right? And you got this floor slashed here. And the cool thing is that we can now go to edit mode. We can actually adjust this floor and sort of play with the, you know, play with it a little bit, right? Let's go to local view and kind of create a little bit of interest on the floor. So select these vertical edges and accept this one, and Control B, and, you know, do something like that, right? And you're gonna get this kind of a, and cutters, Shift 2. Whoa. This one is actually geo, so collection. This one is cutters. There we go. So we got kind of a flooring and, you know, a little bit of paneling and just, you know, just a bit of a scene that kind of looks a bit cooler than nothing in it. So let's drop a camera, shall we? So before we drop a camera, let's, you know, align our scene, maybe like this. And then page down and smart come to view. And then we're going to zoom in a little bit, press page down, lock the view, hold Control, press middle mouse button, and zoom out. Okay. Now we're going to change the focal length to maybe 85. And we're going to have to zoom out a little bit again. Right, this, right? And, you know, we can actually change the focal length a bit more. Maybe 85 is cool, something like this. So we got a bit of flooring, a bit of piping, you know, something like this. This kind of a scene. So something like that. Maybe a little bit deeper here. More of a floor. Let's change the focal length to 100. See how this is gonna work for us. Maybe it's gonna be a bit better. Okay, page down. Let's just unlock this, and we can extend the floor a little bit, you know. So grab this floor here, go to edit mode, and wait a minute, we need to apply the boolean. So let's go here and clear the data and apply the boolean, right? All right, so now we can grab this edge here because it's still solidified, yeah, and then G, X, and just simply extend it here. And you can click on the camera and then Control numpad 0 to jump into camera view and zoom in, and, you know, you pop jungle, you're done. So this will be our framing. I think it looks pretty cool. This cut here is a bit close to the camera view, so we might zoom in a bit more. So just, you know, kind of like just a tad, or out. Either way will work. Maybe in is gonna be a bit more interesting. Something like this, maybe. This could work. So page down and unlock from view. Let's drop some mats on it. So let's go here. Okay. Select an object, right? And add new material. It's gonna add a default material, and if you want to preview that, Now if you want to preview that, you want to go to look dev here, which will give you a random kind of like a default lighting for that scene. Now you can't see anything because the material is white, but if you're going to make it darker, you'll start seeing the difference, okay? But you want to change lighting here to something a bit more civil. So what I suggest you do is you go to hdriheaven.com and you download Abandoned Slipway HDRI 4K size. Click here, go to install. In my case, it's gonna be HDRI files, this one, and double click and simply save preferences, and then you can change it to this one. The reason why I do that is because this one is a flat light. It just presents itself a bit better, okay? Sun usually distorts, you know, colorizes the textures, etc. So let's make it a bit darker. You can make it metallic if you want to, right? You can change the roughness and all these settings here if you want to. So make it too dark. And then this is going to be our main color, so we want to kind of go with it, okay? So for example, this panel, I would imagine, gonna be the same color. So you can do is select the panel, shift, select this one, click this arrow and copy matte. Okay, if you want a new matte, you simply press new, and then we can make it metallic as well and a bit darker, but not as dark. It's gonna be kind of difference here. And now we can start designing this, you know. But this one technically could be the same, so copy. This one could be one of these two. I mean, the one we created, just the silver one's going to be in the memory, so you can actually select it. These ones could be the silver ones as well. Same with maybe the hinges. Maybe. Same with this ones. Could be brighter. These two, or even three, could be brighter too. Maybe these framings here could be even different colors, so another one, and metal, and make it darker, you know, and then simply select this and copy. So you got third material going on, right, for like accents and stuff. So same with these could be darker too, so boom, right. The cylinders in the middle could be darker as well, so select that and copy. And this one could be even darker, you know, so we could make it even rubberish or something, like, you know, could push the roughness of this material. So let's just copy this one here, and I think I copied the wrong matte. I wanted the dark one here. It's a bit confusing because it's not really that much of a difference, so let's make it really dark to make it stand out. There you go. These hinges could be also really dark, so we could just do that. Come on. This one and this one should be the same, so copy. Alright, let's see if these hinges couldn't be darker as well. Maybe it's gonna be better. Don't know how I feel about that. I have to think about it. The pipes could be one color as well, so we could just, you know, simply run another one here. So simply add material, and we can make it darker too. Doesn't have to be metallic, or could be a bit more reflective. And select this and copy. If you want color, you can also add color. If you want to, for example, you could make it, you know, metallic, sort of yellow, but dark. Like industrial yellow if you want to, but I'm gonna be keeping this within the grays. I really like grays, so that's my thing. Can make it brighter here, that's okay, or maybe darker to bring more attention to this cupboard or whatever it is, this device. This could be the same as this silver one, to be honest. Could be, although we could click this number, which will duplicate this material, and we can then just kind of fine-tune it. See, select this one, and you know, copy, and then floor could be the same as this pillar, or the other way around. This could be darker, right, and this could be brighter. It's, you know, whatever you decide. Let's see how we're looking in the camera. So click on the camera, Control 0, and let's zoom in, and this would be our render, right? So Looks pretty cool. Now let's let's add some more interest here. So we're going to add another plane. Okay, and we're gonna drop it up here, and we're going to grab this edge and GY and extend it. Grab this edge and GX and move it in here. And we're going to flip it, because you see this flipped, right? So we can flip it by selecting the face, Alt N, and flip. So the correct orientation is going to be here. Control A applies scale, and let's apply solidify. And then let's apply auto smooth and shade smooth, right? And then we can create some lamps or whatnot here. So we can drop it down a bit too. Drop it down here, and we can do something like this, go to front view and E and drop it like that. So it kind of drops behind over there. So how we're looking pretty good. The color doesn't matter, but we can just create a copy. So we can copy this one and go to matte and copy, and we can create some lights over there on top. Okay, so lights, I'm just gonna grab regular cubes, because we can't see the lights, so it doesn't matter, right? So just like this. Okay, front view, and just drop them in here, and they're a bit too big, so something like this, maybe a bit towards the front. So GX and GZ, move it up, and I'm going to copy the darker color for this, right? And I'm going to array this. Okay, so Shift A, apply scale, and then I'm going to apply auto smooth and shade smooth, and I'm going to array this. All right, so array this on y-axis, right? We don't need that many, so this should do, right? Cool. Maybe one more. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select this one and inset it, okay? And then E to extrude it and scale it like this, right? And what we're going to do with this, we're going to apply a different matte to it. So we're going to click on the plus, press new, click here and switch to emission. Switch this emission to something kind of warm-ish and increase the value, and then go to face mode. Right? And we're going to assign this one to this face. Boom. And you're going to see kind of an emissive material going on. Now we're going to switch here to Eevee. Click here. This is Eevee. We're going to assign ambient occlusion, bloom, space screen reflections, and shadows. I would recommend 2K. I'm going to go with 4K. It depends on your machine, guys, right? So high bit res for sure. And we want to turn off, there's one settings I want to turn off. Turn this off because it's going to lower the quality, but turn on refraction. And these are my settings for Eevee, okay? You can go with more samples here. I would suggest maybe 256 should do. And then we need more lighting, okay? Because it's a bit dark, you see? So we're going to go here, right? Pull it up, go to shader editor, and switch from object to world. Now, because we have Node Wrangler add-on installed, you can click here, press Ctrl T, which will add a node group. Everything is pink because we don't have a HDRI, so we're gonna drop the same one that we used for our look depth. Boom. Now you can see this HDRI here in full view because we have the film on the film. Okay, we have the transparency turned off, but if you turn it on, it doesn't disappear. But before we do that, we want to rotate it so the light actually comes at a specific angle, because the light source is over there. That's where the sun is setting. You can't really see because it's overcast, but it shines kind of almost, straight at the model. I wanted a bit more of an angle, so I want it somewhere here. So I'm going to hold Z and I'm going to rotate it like that, right? So the lighting shifts a little bit. Okay, it's a bit more dramatic, you see? See how the light shifts? Something like that. We're going to drop this here to maybe 0.3, okay? Or maybe even 0.2. Because we're going to pump the lighting from these. Now to make these lights pop, what we need is lights. So we're going to collapse this for a second, okay? And press, go to lights. So area light, right? and GX, move it in here, SY, scale it a bit, and we need to fit it into, you know, into this face, okay? So SY and GZ, right? And SX and GX and SX, and this will do more or less, right? Now, important thing is that we're gonna copy this, okay, by pressing Alt D, not Shift D, because Alt D will allow us to change one light settings and they're gonna all update. So Alt D and press Y, then set it, and then press Shift R, Shift R, and Shift R, which will repeat the last operation, okay? Then select one of these lights, okay, and we're gonna go here, and we're gonna change this to be a bit more, you know, a bit more logical. You can make this light a bit warmer, or you can go with a bit more bluish light, whatever you want. A bit warmer probably makes a bit more sense. And there's a lot of cast on this wall, so we can change this wall from being metallic to being a bit more rough, okay, like this, and darker. So let me see that. Yeah, something like this, and these lights need a bit more punch, yeah. So let's just punch them a bit more. Cool, and then let's go to the front view here, and we start looking pretty good. So now let's add volumetrics, because it's gonna be fun, okay? So let's go here to, again, to shader editor, go to world, all right, and Shift A and type volume, okay, and go this principled volume, drop it here, and connect it, and everything's gonna go dark. But it goes dark because it's just too dense. So let's switch this density to 0.00, maybe 2, or maybe 3, maybe even 5, maybe even higher than that. 8. You see it getting more and more fuzzy, sort of like maybe 1. Yeah, that could work. And let's make it blue. So the haze is gonna be bluish, right? And we could also add some emission. So we could add a little bit of emission, add maybe 0.001, and this emission could be maybe warmer, or yeah, some warmer, something like this. It's gonna glow a bit, right? And you can adjust this, you know, density a bit more if you want to. Maybe you could go with maybe 3. Maybe that's a bit too dense. Maybe 2. Maybe this could work. I don't know. Let's see. Let's grab the camera and get in. Maybe that's a bit too hazy, you know. Maybe that's a bit too hazy. Let's go to shader editor and world, and change it to maybe 1. Yeah, I think that's a bit more natural. Cool. Okay. This also could be not metallic, but let's say, you know, kind of rough. So the light will not bounce it heavily from it, okay? Now we definitely need some lights here, you know, like lights on this, right? So what we can do is go to object mode, and let's just save it. And what we're gonna do is grab a cube, okay, and make it really small, GX, and sorry, GY, move it in here, GX, right, and then SY and S and GX and GY. I'm creating like a tiny, you know, light, okay. So just move it in, and we're going to apply scale. We're going to Control-Alt-click on the edges, bevel them like this, right? And then we're going to apply Auto Smooth and Shade Smooth, right? And we're going to also apply bevel. And the bevel is going to be small, 0.2. There we go. And weighted normals, okay? Then we're going to insert this a little bit like this, okay? And we're gonna apply a color to it, a lighting. So let's grab a, first of all, let's see what color is this. This is dark, so let's make it brighter, okay? so it stands out. And then we're going to assign a color to it. So another material and emissive. And we're going to make it warm, okay? And bright, and select the face and assign, okay? And then we're going to Shift DZ, move it up, okay? And we're going to mirror them to the other side. So let's grab a mirror, right? And let's move this mirror here and copy them across here on y-axis, okay? And the same here. You can actually copy modifiers. So shift select this one, Control C, copy modifiers, right? And then what we can do is we can move these lights whatever the hell I want. Shift D, and we can, you know, move them down here. Let's switch the snapping to face and rotation. So then when we go down here, you can G and hold Control and snap it. The only thing is we need to rotate it now. R, Y, hold Control and rotate it around until it snaps. G, Z, Z, or Y, Y, or maybe X, 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 X. I never know which one it is. Boom, and we got something like this, and then mirrored, right? So we got these lights, which is cool. We could have these buttons glow blue, so we could just insert this one, insert it one more time, and we could create another material here, okay? So plus, new material, emissive, okay? And make it blue, make it glow. And then we're gonna select this one with Alt and assign, and you got glowing buttons, right? Which looks pretty bloody cool. So there you go, and you know, these canisters here in the bottom could glow as well. So we could, you know, create something like this. So Control R is scroll your mouse, Control B to split them, scroll down to have this, and then you can add the same material, the same blue or the same, you know, the warm one, whichever you want, but we can go with blue one and, you know, do something like this, right? And then let's maybe this is a bit too strong, so just dial it down a bit, and then let's go here, Control 0, and let's go to our render, and there you go. There's a really cool model. So now if you want to render this, right, with these settings, let's just double check them. Everything is fine. Volumetrics, right? We could decrease that. The lower the value, the higher the quality. Volumetric shadows, that's important. And I think we're gonna be good here. So now let's set our resolution. I want to go with 2560 by 1440. And I want to render in TIFF 16-bit and no compression. Okay, and then just simply click here and render, and there you go. That's our render, looking pretty decent. So next thing, we're gonna bring it to Photoshop and have some fun over there. So anyway guys, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next video, and as usual, make sure to check out our ebook, a free ebook for Vanilla Blender. There's a lot of cool information over there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in part 5, in which we're going to be editing this. And I suggest you don't skip that part, because editing is probably as important as modeling and rendering, because that's what's going to end up on your final portfolio, right? So you really want to make sure that it looks decent. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.